The first warning came in the distant rumble of hooves and the low growls of predators along the northern plains. Kion, atop Pride Rock, felt it immediately, a tremor in the circle of life, subtle but unmistakable. Strength alone could no longer dominate the Pride lands. This was not a threat of cunning, greed, or fear. This was raw power, raw force, and one thing untempered by wisdom. King Nuka, his reputation had spread beyond the Outlands, a lion known for unmatched strength, but also for rash decisions and reckless dominance. Power without thought, teeth without strategy, that was the true danger Kion and the Lion Guard now faced. From the jagged cliffs of the northern ridge, Nuka surveyed the Pride lands with pride and anticipation. His muscles rippled under the early sunlight as he flexed his claws against the stone. Strength wins all, he growled to himself, eyes glowing with confidence. Wisdom is for the weak. I will take what I want, and nothing can stop me. Kion gathered the Lion Guard immediately, sensing the urgency that radiated from the trembling earth and anxious animals. Nuka is coming, Kion said, his voice steady but tense, and he isn't subtle. He will test us with brute force first. Strength without wisdom has always been dangerous, but now we will show why strategy and teamwork matter more. Fuli's tail flicked sharply. Then we have to be faster, smarter, and more precise. We can't rely on strength alone to protect the circle. Besh's massive frame shook as he growled. He's powerful, yes, but strength without thought is predictable. We can exploit that if we act carefully. Ono circled above, wings beating fast, scanning the plains for early signs of Nuka's approach. The herds are already moving nervously. Strength alone frightens, but panic spreads faster than claws. Bunga bounced with excitement tinged with concern. Then we show him what real teamwork looks like. We combine brains and brawn, and he won't know what hit him. Kion nodded, chest tightening with the responsibility of the circle. We move together. Strength alone can destroy, yes, but strength combined with strategy can protect. That's what we'll prove. The first clash occurred near a wide river that split the plains in two. Nuka had corralled several herds, his massive body blocking access to water, teeth bared, claws scraping the earth. His approach was direct, unyielding, and terrifying. Animals froze at the sight of his sheer size, instinct telling them to flee, but nowhere to run. Kion stepped forward, voice calm but commanding. There is a way through. Follow us, not fear. Together, we are stronger than any lion acting alone. Fuli darted ahead, leading some of the panicked prey through narrow paths along the riverbank. Besh positioned himself between Nuka and the trapped animals, using his bulk to shield and redirect with controlled precision. Ono signaled from above, providing constant updates and spotting dangerous positions. Bunga engaged Nuka's attack strategically, not with blind aggression, but to create openings for the herds to escape. Nuka roared, a sound that shook the nearby rocks and water. You think cunning and trickery can match strength? He bellowed, lunging toward Kion with a swipe meant to overwhelm. Kion parried smoothly, understanding that brute force would not only be dangerous, but predictable. Strength alone cannot protect the circle, he said firmly. It must be guided by wisdom. The battle unfolded across the riverbank in a display of raw power and calculated strategy. Nuka's attacks were wild, enormous, and relentless, designed to intimidate and overpower. Each blow, though destructive, revealed patterns in his movements, predictable swings, overextended lunges, and repeated openings. The Lion Guard used every advantage, exploiting gaps with coordination rather than matching him in sheer force. Nuka attempted to push further, forcing herds into tighter spaces, aiming to crush morale and demonstrate dominance. But Kion anticipated his moves, guiding animals through alternative routes, using obstacles to slow and redirect the massive lion. Fooli's speed, Besht's strength, Ono's vision, and Bunga's daring combined to counter raw power at every step. It's who can't stop me? Nuka roared, striking again and again, trying to overwhelm the Lion Guard with sheer force. Kion met him with calm precision. Strength without thought can be defeated by unity and strategy. That is what you do not understand. The first turning point came when Nuka attempted to trap a herd near a rocky cliff, overestimating the reach of his power. Besht blocked his advance, while Fuli and Bunga guided the animals safely along hidden paths. Ono spotted the subtle imbalance in Nuka's posture, signaling Kion to exploit it. Kion lunged carefully, not with the intent to harm, but to force Nuka off balance and redirect his attack. Nuka stumbled slightly, his own momentum becoming a liability. "Oh!" he bellowed, frustrated by the unforeseen consequence of his raw power. Strength alone had led him into vulnerability. The Lion Guard pressed advantage without cruelty, guiding Nuka's force into positions that reduced harm to the circle while demonstrating that strength without wisdom could fail even the most powerful predator. Herds moved freely once more, escaping the intimidation that Nuka tried to impose. By midday, Nuka's frustration had grown into visible rage. His attacks became more reckless, overextending in attempts to assert dominance. Kion maintained composure, coordinating the guard to counter every blow. Protecting both animals and each other. "Strength alone can only carry you so far," Kion said calmly, meeting Nuka's eyes. "Wisdom, patience, and unity carry much farther." Slew. The plains shook with Nuka's roars as he realized brute force was not enough. He had underestimated the value of strategy and teamwork. His followers, few as they were, lacked coordination and were quickly neutralized by the guard's precise actions. The more he relied on raw strength, the more predictable his attacks became. The more vulnerable he was to guidance and calculated defense. As the sun dipped toward the horizon, the first confrontation drew to a close. Nuka withdrew into the outlands, exhausted and frustrated. His strength was undeniable, but untempered by thought, it had failed to dominate. The Pridelands survived, not by matching power with power, but by combining agility, strategy, and trust in one another. Kion stood atop Pride Rock, the Lion Guard at his side, heart steady but alert. The lesson was clear: strength alone cannot sustain victory. Wisdom, coordination, and understanding are what protects the circle. The Pridelands had endured the first day of Nuka's assault, and the battle for balance was far from over. The morning after Nuka's first assault arrived over the Pridelands with a tense calm. The herds had recovered from the initial panic, but the tremors of raw strength still lingered in their cautious steps. Kion understood that Nuka's power was dangerous precisely because it lacked subtlety. Strength untempered by wisdom is reckless and unpredictable, yet potentially devastating. This next confrontation would test the Lion Guard's ability to protect not only the animals, but the very principles of the circle. "Today," Kion said, "gathering the guard near Pride Rock Nuka will push further. Strength without wisdom is dangerous, but impatience makes it predictable. We'll exploit that." Fuli's sleek form flicked through the grass. "Then we stay fast and flexible. We anticipate his moves rather than meet them head-in." Besht's massive paws dug into the earth. "He can crush anything in his path, yes, but brute force has limits. We just need to make him step into them." Ono soared high, scanning the horizon. His approach is relentless, but he has no patience. That is his weakness. Bunga bounced eagerly. Then we act as one. We use brains, brawn, and speed to protect the circle. Kion nodded. Exactly. Strength alone cannot rule the Pride lands. Strategy, trust, and timing will show that wisdom outlasts force. The confrontation began near a plateau, where herds gathered for grazing. Nuka appeared suddenly, massive and imposing, muscles rippling as he stomped toward the animals. His roar shattered the air, sending tremors through the plains and panic through the herds. The Lion Guard moved immediately, guiding frightened animals along safe paths and blocking reckless attacks. Nuka lunged, claws extended, intent on domination. Obey or be crushed. He roared. His strength was terrifying, each swipe capable of destroying any barrier in its path. Kion met him without hesitation. Strengths. Without wisdom is dangerous, yes, but it is also limited. You forget strategy, focus, and unity. The battle unfolded as a series of cat-and-mouse maneuvers rather than direct combat. Nuka relied on overpowering force, attempting to isolate animals and intimidate them into submission. The Lion Guard countered with coordination and adaptability, using terrain and communication to guide herds safely past danger. Fully's speed redirected the fastest animals. Besht blocked vulnerable points. Ono signaled from above, and Bunga drew attention at critical moments. Nuka's attacks grew more aggressive, more reckless. His reliance on raw power created openings that the guard exploited. One massive swipe sent him crashing into a boulder, momentarily staggering him. No! He roared, realizing that pure force alone could not dictate the battle. Kion seized the moment. Strength can break bones. Nuka, wisdom protects the circle. That is why you will fail. The clash continued across the plateau. Nuka's size and power were formidable, but his predictability became a liability. Each maneuver of the Lion Guard countered his aggression without recklessness, demonstrating that strategy could outweigh raw force. Herds moved safely, animals trusted the guidance of the guard, and the Pride Land's balance held firm despite Nuka's attempts to dominate. By midday, Nuka's frustration was evident. Every strike was met with precise counteraction. His reliance on overwhelming force led to overextension, and each misstep allowed the guard to redirect herds and neutralize threats without direct confrontation. The animals observed courage, coordination, and intelligence in action, reinforcing their trust in the circle rather than succumbing to fear or intimidation. Kion confronted Nuka directly near a rocky ridge, muscles tense, eyes locked. You rely on raw strength, Nuka, that will never control the circle. Wisdom, unity, and trust are far stronger. Nuka lunged one final time, roar echoing across the plains. His power was immense, yet Kion met him with calm precision. Every movement of the Lion Guard worked in harmony, neutralizing attacks and protecting the circle. Slowly, inexorably, the battle shifted. Nuka's force could no longer dominate. His reckless attacks faltered, and his followers, few as they were, lost momentum. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Nuka retreated to the northern cliffs, exhausted and frustrated. His strength had not failed him, but without wisdom, it could not win. The Pride lands remained intact, protected by a combination of courage, strategy, and unity. Kion stood atop Pride Rock, the Lion Guard at his side, chest heaving but steady. The lesson was undeniable. Strength without wisdom fails every time, no matter how mighty. Nuka's threat remained, looming in the distance, but the circle had survived, stronger and more united than before. Night fell over the plains, stars twinkling as silent witnesses. The Pride Lands had endured, not through raw power, but through understanding, patience, and coordinated action. The roar within Kion rested calm and strong, a reminder that intelligence paired with courage always outweighs brute force. The circle had survived the full trial of Nuka's raw strength. Fear had not broken them. Chaos had not toppled them. Strength without wisdom had failed. The Lion Guard had proven that unity, foresight, and trust were the true power that safeguarded the Pride Lands. Tomorrow, the battle would continue, but the lesson had been carved into every heart. Power is only as strong as the mind that guides it. And wisdom will always protect what force alone cannot.